pretty much the topics, and then introduce you. I'm Josh, and this is my co-host. And, like I said, okay, cool. Let's go for it. Let's do it. Hi, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Josh, and this is my co-host.
Howdy, folks. I'm AJ.
Me and AJ actually wrote out some topics. He chose half, and I kind of, last moment, chose half. I didn't really remember what I wanted to talk about, but we got some topics to talk about that we wanted to kind of go over. If we get to them all, maybe we don't. It's just more to be conversational, but we do definitely maybe... We're going to call this episode Scattershot. This episode is going to see what people like hearing us talking about. We got eclectic things of stuff to talk about here. Hopefully I'll have some editing maybe here or this corner. I haven't really decided which one looks best, but at some point you should see this appear, and we're going to talk about Star Wars and possibly a Disneyfication of Star Wars, gas prices, the electric car market, electric cars in general, and since it's such a crisis and everyone else wants to monopolize off of it, why not? We might hit on guns. And like I said, I don't like hitting political topics unless I think I have a nuanced opinion, and I think I do. So, I don't know. And if we get to it, we get to it. That's why I put it at the end. I do want to make sure that at the end of the episode, though, you get to know your host a little bit more. I know I post on this channel a little bit, but it's honestly just music videos with, what I'm doing as a vacation at the time. So I think a good way to get to know both me and AJ is at the end of the episode, I'd like to maybe try and get one thing in that we both wanted to share with all of you.
Random fun facts.
Yeah.
Random fun facts.
Pretty much, yeah. So, without further ado, our first topic, Star Wars. Now, me and him watched Obi-Wan together. It was okay.
It's okay. Yeah. It's nice seeing Ewan McGregor again.
Yeah,
It's nice seeing him as Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I like seeing him again. Now, I waited to talk about this. We kind of pre-talked about this because we brought up all the topics as we were writing it down. And I did kind of want to wait to bring up my opinion on that. It feels like we kind of heard this story once before. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it's not like my opinion is unadulterated by other people's opinions on this website, but it feels like we're doing the whole Luke Skywalker bit again. Like, we gotta watch, it's no big if it was only one. I mean, I guess everybody did hate Luke Skywalker throwing his lightsaber and totally giving it away, but it just feels like, what do we have to see it with everybody? Wasn't Obi-Wan at least? I mean, if we don't want to admit that Luke Skywalker was the optimistic version of a Jedi throughout all of time, we can't admit Obi-Wan. I mean, I felt the way Alex Guinness, is that his name? I felt the way he portrayed him was always like, I don't know, it just seemed like he had always mental fortitude. And I liked the way Ewan McGregor portrayed him mixed with a lot of the Clone Wars. I think the Clone Wars cartoon kind of culminated into a good Obi-Wan ideology for me. Like, he's a jokester that got kind of his edges worn out towards the end, and he was a good kind of moral advice. And he always was kind of good morality, even through the shows. I mean, technically was.
He was the conscience a lot of times as the character with the conscience, because he had other characters to contend with that weren't thinking with those terms. So,
yeah, and I can understand Luke's Luke. He did his thing, right? So he could lay off the Jedi, right? So it made sense why he kind of was a weaker. You could pull off it, even though everybody hated it. Made even more sense, I think, than Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan just came off the hills from trying to fight two of the strongest Sith Lords of all time, right? I mean, it's like, I don't know. It seems odd to me on that. And then the point, I haven't heard that point brought up, but some points that I kind of agree on it is Luke Skywalker does act like he's never, Jedi. I've heard of those, and it's like, well, I mean, you were 8 years old when some fought in the middle of Mos Eisley or whatever the main town is,
right, that's gonna be.
Yeah, and why is every toy, I didn't even know the dice was a big deal. I know I brought this up before when we talked about Star Wars. I did not know the dice
were the little Han Solo dice.
Yeah, I watched those 3 movies
Honestly,
religiously.
sure.
I get that they're
no.
there. I've seen them, and I had no idea they were a big deal until the big movies. And it's just like,
well,
why
honestly,
are you doing that same thing? I knew to look it up. I knew to look that motherfucker up.
No, that's all right. I didn't know that it was a thing either, honestly. And I saw the movie, and I got some as a gift, a little dicey gift. I wrapped it in my backpack.
You could say that.
It's like
no, I'm definitely hanging on my wall. Or I mean, I'd put it up if I had it, but I wouldn't be against it. It's just I didn't know it had reverence. Just like the little shit that he gave Luke, which is somehow looks better in the older movies than it does in this one. Maybe he fixes it up at some point and gives it back to him or something. We should say that my Disney subscription got canceled recently just because I didn't have enough funds to fund it. So I didn't really see any need to kind of re-up it because I wasn't too enthused by Obi-Wan. But me and you watched episode 2, 3?
The first 2 at least. Yeah.
At least the first 2. And I don't agree with like a lot of the YouTubers that are kind of against Leia's character. I get that like everybody feels that like women power is a little bit shoved down your throat in Disney stuff, which it may be shoving women power, but it wasn't totally against Leia's storyline. Like I don't. Again, we haven't seen 3 or 4, so this may be old news.
I think we saw 3. I think 4 hadn't come out yet.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So this may be old news, but I don't know. I don't think Leia was too much of a Mary Sue. I don't really think there's anything wrong with her or anything. I don't get kind of the hatred around her besides that. And Reva, I mean, I get why you dislike her, but I think it's kind of a good dislike, and it should be a dislike because, right, she's a Sith, and Sith don't typically work good together. I honestly don't really mind her. It does seem like they are kind of making it her show, and I think that's a valid argument. But I don't see oh my god, she's just such a terrible person. And she acts like such an idiot. Like, no Sith would act like that. It's like, yeah, well, no, Empire and Anakin Skywalker, the 2 most disciplined Sith of all time. Like,
very moody. Come on now.
Yeah, they should be moody, isn't it? Yeah, that's where they get their strength from.
Exactly.
And stuff like that.
That's the whole theme of the thing.
Yeah, it does feel childish, though. I guess.
Well, and they do have it does seem like they do have a tendency to make a show around one character and then let's actually have this other character kind of take over.
Shoehorn it. Yeah, Disneyfication of like Star Wars is like, it's like, just let him die. You don't even have to put him into the show. Like, just let him die. It's quite obvious you're trying to sell it to us and then put in other people, and we're just not liking that. It's like, let him die and then sell us another show. Mm-hmm. Like, Reva could have been some Inquisitor hunting down like the Irish punk kid. You had some gal that was really cool in the game. I didn't play it through, but I liked the storyline so much that I watched the video on YouTube of like the gameplay. And yeah, have it something like that. Have it just some. Everybody loved that character, but maybe because we were so desperate for a Star Wars game for so long.
Sure.
But yeah, like have her take on some random new Sith person, or maybe her do something like they did in Battlefront that everybody kind of hated anyway. But to some degree. And at least with a storyline that was respectable, or her coming to the good side, doing the switch on.
Right. Just seems like misuse of good characters.
Yeah. I don't really have anything.
Or just not. I wouldn't say poorly written. Just like I said, misuse, or just like they're miswritten in a way, if that makes sense. Like they're writing the way that they're written is good, but still missing the point of how good they could be.
Right.
So and I get it. They're trying to do it in a hurry so they can get it done. And like under budget, but it leads to just some weird kind of herky-jerky moments in these shows. And granted, they're still fun, and I will still watch every single one of them. But
I don't know if I'll keep up with it. I mean, I normally do go out of my way to resubscribe on everything because I did want to keep up, but I don't know if it's just because I'm coming out of a depression stoop or something, but I have no need to want to watch anything on Disney Plus right now.
I don't know, that's okay. It takes me an hour to get from where I live to come up here to hang out, so we can watch other stuff.
No, yeah, we definitely do.
And it kind of saves, I mean, the price of a subscription versus how much it costs to drive up here for gas.
Yeah, and actually, a tip for people, this is another topic that I guess we could just throw in there. I've been learning on subscriptions. I think I was telling you this last time. Just start canceling your subscriptions. Yeah. Like, once you start canceling your subscriptions, they'll go like, please stay, here's subscription half price. Like, just try it. Like, if you haven't gone through and just like done your canceling your subscriptions in a long time, just just go through and try canceling them. Like
they're like, are you sure? Oh no.
Yeah, I got half off on
stay?
everything that I did want to keep. It's like actually, the whole plan was to get rid of everything because I shouldn't be spending any more money.
Right.
I should be investing in this or getting a real job. But you know, I was getting rid of everything that was just bloat, and it was like, yeah, $3, $4, and it's like, oh well, it's like Paramount, I guess. I guess I technically don't hate, you know, it, so I kept a few, but I don't know. Disney Plus, I didn't like the Boba Fett really too much. Like, Cad Bane is technically one of my favorite characters from. I recently cleaned my house for the first time, by the way. If you see a fly flying around here, it's a sign that I cleaned my house because I opened up the back of my door and it seemed to let in all of the flies when I was knocking stuff out. But
nice.
But Cad Bane is one of my favorite characters. I felt like, I don't know, like he just Boba Fett
died too easily.
Yeah, he died too easily, and it just wasn't much of a like. You either had like Boba Fett and Din Djarin being like fucking God mode the whole time. Like, he even got chewed up by Rancor and didn't even care about it at all, but who gives a fuck? Like, I don't think they realized, but the first season was what made Din Djarin, is like when he took off his helmet and he was all beat up, and he really wanted to take off his helmet as an actor and show it off, so.
Sure.
But they had a reason to. Like, he was beat up, he's trying to expose himself to, I guess, the droid, because somehow that's some big deal for him. Even though he acts like he's never seen the Jedi and he's around when all the Jedi would have been alive and shit like that.
Right.
But I don't know. I thought that was like great. And then this time it's like he can't get beat up. But I guess it really wasn't his show, but it's like, why put him in it at all? Just have him get along with his little retro 50s gang. You know, it looks like he's about to do fucking Grease or something.
Oh, the
gang that's with him that got like all the picturesque shots when all the badasses were fighting.
Yeah.
It's like, look, the Wookiee's fighting. Let's do a dance move right in front of him. I'm doing a 3-point pose right in front of him when I shoot my little gun. You know, bang, bang.
It's like, don't get in the way of the Wookiee.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really mind. It just looked like at that final episode when they got down to the scene, it's like, I've hit this twice. I really hope I don't mess this up.
No, they're fine.
But they get to the final scene, and it's like the Wookiee is like getting ready to shoot, but he's like limping because he's taking all the damage, which is fine. But it's like slow motion. And he swings his large gun, and then you get to see the girl with the pink hair and the shaved head guy with the long Doctor Who like jacket, all looking fancy. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't even mind that you threw him in the universe. To be honest, I don't even hate what you guys hate, where it's like the little cars that look like retro fitted thing. I get it. It's your taste on Star Wars. You know, it's fine. I was getting tired of muted colors anyway. But it's like, that was a little cheesy. A little bit. It wasn't even like stuffing anything down her throat. I mean, maybe it was some woke content, I guess, because it happened to be a black character and a girl character, if you really want to go there. But it was just.
No, I think that was just.
It was like
because.
Yeah, it was like.
But mostly.
Getting like trading cards of like Marvel characters, and like they're doing their little the Spider-Man stance or something, and it's like, look at us do a slow motion scene of this. They're gonna sell so many cards of this.
Or when in reality it was 5 minutes of, all right, stand this way with the toy gun. Stand this way with the toy gun. In front of the green screen. Okay, we're. And they really were toy guns this time. This time, like the kids had. I mean, to be honest, the bald guy, I honestly thought his little gun was cute for his outfit because he looked like a Doctor Who character. Sure.
But it did look like a toy gun. It looked like a squirt gun. I mean, like a squirt gun that was painted gunmetal.
Right.
Like,
I mean, when you need to make a quick blaster, but yeah.
But Cad Bane, man, you've watched all of Clone Wars?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Cad Bane had those. He took on Kenobi and the guy that would later become, two of the best Jedi, and he stood toe to toe with almost all of them. You know, I don't know. It's really weird. And he didn't fear Palpatine when he was getting hired by him for stuff. I mean, he was such a badass person, and then you're gonna watch him get like beat up by like a half. Sorry about that. I'm using a GoPro as our little podcasting camera, and for some odd reason it overheated. I don't know if it was like the battery was just too loose or whatnot, but it was a good place to stop anyway. We could spend all night talking Star Wars, so.
Right. We'll move on.
Yeah. Definitely. So, I guess before we move on, let me get up to turn this thing off so it's not distracting me. We were just watching Kids in the Hall. We're gonna move on to gas prices, but I guess we should bring up Helmet. Hell yeah, this fucking show is amazing.
Yeah, the new Kids in the Hall think it's on Prime.
Yeah. I don't know if any of you guys. I never watched like the '80s form of it, but I do watch SNL, and it obviously is influenced heavily by SNL. I mean, they're obviously SNL characters, like
precursors.
Yeah. There's characters on the show like Kenan Thompson, Pete Davidson is on the show. It's by Lorne Michaels. All the skits seem very SNL-esque, and it feels like what I've been missing on SNL for a while. It's like all the skits are like really old class SNL, like stuff you'd see Will Ferrell doing.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's I don't know, quality so far.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we were just because he usually comes over. He lives about an hour away, and he usually comes over and eats, and we were just kind of watching that before coming. And obviously, when the camera got too hot.
Right.
But man, would recommend the first 2 or 3 episodes we've seen have been like fucking fire.
Right, just funny as all get out.
Yeah.
And in a way that's just nice and different. Like,
Yeah.
okay, perfect.
Yeah, it's a nice old, I guess, remake of old humor. Obviously, I don't know why Lorne Michaels isn't writing for SNL. I mean, if they're struggling that much, man, and he's doing that good. I mean, I don't know how much his production is going into writing for this show, but
he probably shows up and is like, all right, there's some money, and whatever.
yeah, I don't know. Like, do you know any of these guys from anything else? So you said you knew some of these guys from other things. I don't know any of these guys. One of them sounds kind of familiar. Like the guy with the goofy hair sounds familiar. Like I must have seen him in something.
Maybe.
But
maybe a lot. Like that's a lot of those guys is voices lens.
Yeah,
to
but
stuff.
you said something like you knew Dan Foley, maybe.
Dave Foley's in there, and he was in a show called News Radio, and it had Joe Rogan in it too.
Oh.
And it was from the.
Oh, was he the main
90s.
voice guy?
Dave Foley was the main voice guy.
So was he playing his character in that? Because he was dressed in a suit in the show, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, he wasn't playing his character. He was it's like an homage.
But that was Dave Foley, though.
Yeah, it was Dave Foley doing a radio DJ.
I think I have seen that because I used to watch as a kid. I don't remember what it is. I just remember the bitch coming in, like, you know, because there's a girl on it that was like
he was like a news anchor, like news director kind of guy.
Right, and he's always getting his ass chewed out by either the producer or his catty girlfriend or friend that was a girl. And then I saw that one day. Joe Rogan, like, where did Joe Rogan come from? Like, you know, on a podcast or something, and somebody was showing that, and I was like, he was on that? Like, I was like, you'd come home and, like, I think it was, like, in between The Simpsons and King of the Hill, which I actually wanted to watch as a kid. And it was, like, you know, you had fucking Jimmy, or whatever, what's the guy that always shows the fights with the fucking terrible fights, and it's always, like, people are stripping and incest and...
Oh, Jerry Springer?
Jerry Springer, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Okay. I get you.
That'd be a good thing to talk about sometime, about how Jerry Springer is like our first exposure to trans. You know, I think that actually may be the reason people find trans so disgusting in the way. Maybe just their first exposure to it was Jerry Springer, because, I mean, there's no pop culture that had trans. You know?
Right, no, a lot of people's, we've talked about this.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about it. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it might be something.
It is interesting, yeah. We'll save it for another time.
Yeah, we'll save it for another time. Anyway, we had gas prices.
Yeah, we're mentioning gas prices because
I guess since this is your topic, what did you want to talk about?
Well, I was just going to say, since I do live an hour away, it is interesting, you know.
It's something you probably have to think about. So, you spend a small fortune to see him.
It's a somewhat of a small fortune, so y'all better start throwing money at us at some point.
Just get AJ here. You might see me solo because AJ can't. AJ's gonna Zoom call in.
I'm gonna start hitchhiking. Get one of those. Get like Dumb and Dumber and get one of those little mopeds. I get 70 miles per gallon on this hog and just.
I don't know necessarily where I stand, but I guess I should ask you then. Do you think this is at fault of the Democratic Party? Do you think there's policies the president has control over this to some degree? Are you under the impression that OPEC or whatever the companies that are in charge of all of oil, big oils, is making this? What is your opinion? Who's at fault for this? Is it just general inflation from us sitting around on COVID? What do you think?
I feel like it's timing plus oil companies.
Yeah.
Oil companies are like, all right, they're gonna call it post-COVID. I don't think we're post-COVID quite yet, but it's a long enough afterwards where it's kind of catching up to, and inflation is a little ridiculous. So they're like, ooh, let's let it inflate, and then we'll leave it there for a little bit because they're not hurting, and it's not Biden's fault in the sense that like he has any say in the matter.
So you do think it's OPEC or maybe not OPEC, but the people that are in charge of oil price gouging a bit?
Oh, they're 100% price gouging. Yeah. They're definitely price gouging, and the only reason they're getting away with it is because I don't know, they can at the moment.
What I want to know is I can't remember what the reason was, but you remember that kid who killed himself because he sold he lost $1 million in one day on Robinhood or something like that? Did you hear about that? He bought oil. You know, that was
okay.
Right, and he bought it during the time period where we were struggling, right? Or during COVID, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why oil. It was like the point where oil was setting in the Gulf or wherever it's being transported to, and the ships were setting there.
Right.
Do you know what happened to the shelf life on like oil? How do you, I know it has to stay cool.
Right.
Right, because it's hyper cooled or something. Gasoline specifically.
Right. It has to.
Maybe it's a guess, but remember that dropped so low that it went almost negative, you know, and that's why that guy went crazy because he thought he owed, you know, $2 million or something like that. And who knows what actually would happen? I mean, I don't even know if they truly resolved that. I mean, he killed himself, so they're probably like, well, we'll just take off whatever lawyer company ends up taking over this grave, but.
Right, exactly. This person's grave is sponsored by.
but that does bring up a larger point of like it was so cheap. And there's so much of it. I mean, this is going into gas prices. I'm sorry it took me so long to get there, but this is how I know about it because I don't actually research this, and I don't make enough money to be in the stock market, but I do like watching it as a curious person. But there's so much of that just sitting in the Gulf Sea. Was it just because it had to stay cold, and you need to get rid of it, or did you just sell it at pennies on the dollar, and you truly are at like I think I don't get it how it was so low, and now it's like I don't want to say that because I don't think politics are involved the way people think it's involved. I truly don't think the president has much control over the economy unless you're just going by scare value, because then yes, anybody who has like a whole huge platform has scare value over the economy, right?
Sure.
They could make it go into dips and things, and I think presidents
he can wag a finger at it,
right?
Like, that's not very good of you
and
to
then
do.
if you're doing Jimmy Carter like shit or something, or you do try and regulate, it could look bad down the line on inflation. But
you have some other lobbyists against some oil companies go to their lobbyists and be like, look, we'll just buy you dinner, or you know, you can sleep over, let's make a deal. And then eventually somebody will be like, oh, this is too expensive, and then they'll bring it down. But then,
man, I remember going to California back in the day, and it was like, well, my $4.50 was like crazy on California's borders.
Oh, yeah.
That was like back in Obama days, right? Or something because it's always a Democrat you're complaining
on. It was
about
about 2010, yeah.
Yeah.
But my point was that we were in Colorado recently, and it was about $4.29 in Denver on average, right? We're back in Kansas. In my little town, it's $4.49 now.
What?
And
that means it has to be. I live across the street from a gas station. I should know it by now, but I walk everywhere.
It's the same price over here, $4.49. And
Jesus,
I
don't think it changed very much though. If anything,
no. But it's interesting though. We're now more expensive than Aurora, Colorado, and Denver area.
Well, we don't know if they went up straight too.
Oh, they may have.
9 times out of 10 they do. I do usually.
As soon as we left, it probably skyrocketed.
Being from Kansas, I like traveling a lot, and one of the easiest places to travel to is either the Ozarks or Colorado. You know, you got to go to one of the mountain ranges to get something interesting or a feature. Even though I find Kansas kind of beautiful, I live in Kansas, and the great thing about Kansas is you do have access to highways that go kind of everywhere.
Same.
Yeah. So I mean, I've been to Colorado quite a few times, and oh man, I forgot where I was going with this.
Gas prices fluctuating.
Yeah, and the gas prices is always worse on the Colorado side, is what I was trying to get to. Yeah, the gas prices are never better on the Colorado side. I'm always waiting to get home to Kansas. Hell, even if you just pass, like, there's a little town on the edge of Colorado and Kansas called Canorado. It's kind of cute.
Colorado?
Yeah, and even that town is usually 10 cents cheaper than the rest of Colorado.
They're just trying to get somebody to stop and buy some gas from them. They're like, hey, we're here still. Help us afford dinner, please.
But I don't know, if I ask myself the same questions, I don't really know. I'm glad I asked you because this is your topic, so I guess I'm not too ashamed of not having like a good response on this. But I wish my one wheel was working because I haven't just walking places. But you know, I don't know where I stand on it. I do think there is some touch the government does have. I do think there is some price gouging that's going on. How unilateral or how from the top it is, or how much it is demand. I don't know how much I'm sold on that.
Right. I don't think it's necessarily so orchestrated. I think it was probably just some companies' dumb luck and timing.
And we do see
and then
this
they
during.
were like, oh, we can just leave it here.
We do see this during Democratic presidencies, but a lot of times those are presidents that aren't being supported by oil.
Right. And as far as government, I'm sure that they can have conversation. Anybody can call somebody and be like, hey, look, what you're doing is not fair to a lot of people. And they can be like, whatever, Mr. President, go away. You
watch Mr. Robot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how much that's like true. Like how much the president like sits down behind that. Like that was just bankers, I guess. Big hedge funds or something like that. But
Right.
I wonder how much that's true. I wonder how much like now. Do you think that, like you just pointed out, kind of like, hey, do you think he does call him up and maybe say something? And they're like,
I'm sure.
Well, I mean, we need to make a nifty penny, bitch, you know?
Well, I'm sure that, I mean, they wouldn't write it if there wasn't a tiny bit of truth to it. I'm sure at least somewhere that's happened before. You know, not necessarily that, frequently, but I'm betting Obama's made a call like that at some point. I'm betting Clinton definitely made a call like that at some point.
Obama's pretty moderate, in my opinion. But
we have audio of Nixon having a call about that at some point. You know what I mean? It's just throughout history, every president has their letter or phone call that fucks them.
Yeah.
So at some point,
man,
whether or not it's
I drive a truck, so it definitely does affect me. I definitely wish it was going down. I know it's going to hurt me. Right now, it's not hurting my income source because I kind of work out of my home. But
sure. Well, and when I am at home, I'm walking around town where I'm at most of the time.
But you do have to get here, and you do have to, and it is an hour-long drive. But you got a Buick. It's not an F-150, but it's old.
I get good mileage on the old.
I'm sure you get better than my truck.
It's pretty. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you
it's better than that. Yeah. But I was just thinking about. We threw electric cars on there too. I was gonna.
We could skip that too. I mean, I was gonna go. I was trying to make it seem like it's fair. So one topic his, one topic mine. So
oh, nice.
We could just jump around. Doesn't matter.
Well, yeah.
Oh, electric cars was the second one, right after gas prices.
Yeah.
Okay, well I didn't put anything.
Well,
yeah,
I was gonna say you have the one wheel.
Yeah, I love my electric.
Is the one wheel? Is it practical for more people? Do you think?
Actually, I do think I have more nuance of opinion now after actually owning an electric vehicle, and this is coming from somebody who's poor, so I only own the one wheel Pint. But I've kind of learned a lot about batteries and electricity over the year, and I don't know. I like the idea of being able to have an engine that doesn't have to take some type of dark liquid that only gets 35% of the efficacy of the energy out of it, right? Mm-hmm. Because that's technically when you put gas in your car, the explosion, like the potential energy that you get from burning that, you're only technically using, like the explosion itself, you're only using 35% of energy to make the car move forward. That is at best, by our regulations. So I like the idea that I'm using all of the power that's stored up in the battery, but we haven't perfected batteries, is what I've learned. And lithium and all these ion batteries, they're just big bombs. Like you can't, like we gotta get to the point where either everybody's working off of high supercapacitors, or the technology where it travels to the thing.
Sure.
Would go, and it's heavy too. We haven't got to the point where batteries, man, like people are blown away when they pick up my one wheel. Like, and I feel like I get a workout by picking up my one wheel. And I'm kind of, I was at first I thought I was embarrassed because I was like, oh man, I'm weak. I can't pick up this one wheel. But then I'll hand it to a friend and like, holy shit, this does not look like it weighed that much. You know? Okay, sorry once again. I don't know what's wrong. I'm assuming it's because I have a media. I'm using the same media mod from the 9 for the 10, and I'm just hoping that's the reason it's overheating. I really like the 10 because it's like a smoother version of the 9. It's kind of a good upgrade from the 9. But it's gotten too hot twice now, so if this looks different quality or anything or whatever, it's because I switched over to
different camera.
Yeah, different GoPro, and hopefully this won't overheat. But
okay.
But that actually that kind of it's good that it happened. To be honest with you, that's kind of my point of batteries. Like, battery is the reason that's all happening. Like, the transistors inside there, yeah, they could overheat, and a processor under load and RAM under load can overheat, but, I mean, batteries, like, there's no logic sometimes behind it. You could have like one of the sodium ions, or depending on what things you're using, lithium could just get bloated and cracked, and it doesn't hold the ion charge that much. It's like you're literally we have made such barbaric forms of like holding energy, and we keep saying there's gonna be a solid state battery one day. So as a person that came into this world, this electric world, liking every idea of it, like I even like the foil. You ever seen a foil?
Yeah,
where you like ride over the ocean and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Every idea and use of electric vehicles just gives me a huge boner. When you go to Burning Man, and I wish I could explain to you the multitude of just homemade, like I know electric bikes is kind of a thing, and you think you just see a lot of bought electric bikes, which you probably do. I'm sure you've seen a lot of rich people out there with it, but the multitudes of just unique tricycles and just home built, like small little go-kart batteries in there to make it go 20-30 miles per hour, and just just the idea of electric, it gives me a boner. You know, I like the idea of charge and go. Everything's in it, you know.
Sure.
I hate how heavy they are. I hate that they're not safe and explosive. I hate that they haven't been updated in fucking 20-30 years.
No, we're still, I would agree. I feel like we're still kind of in the like the beta C machines. If that's we're still barely at the 8-track.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's some oil, like to some point that you can only condense the oil machine down so far to make it output so much. And it is true that those batteries can get down, even though they're heavy, they can get down to the point where I could use them in my little one wheel, which I don't need to pick it up. It's been broken for a couple of days, but I'm assuming most of the internet knows about a one wheel or have seen my channel before. Or even that go-kart, man, that go-kart was amazing. Actually, I'm surprised how well the batteries lasted, because I'm someone who kind of understands battery. I understand it's pass-through charging. I understand it can't handle cold and heat, and just by not having enough room in my fucking apartment, I let that set in my truck. I took it to Burning Man, and it still holds at least 45 minutes to an hour-long charge. Yeah. I have a video on my Facebook that actually shows me using it on the river trails. I beat the living shit. It's made for fucking roads and.
Well, you can you can go with the cat and have a nice little like 30-minute trip.
Oh yeah, that's another thing about the one wheel, but that's kind of different. That doesn't have anything to do with the but that is unique though. Is the one wheel is so smooth. Actually, that is something you kind of could bring up, because people use it as gimbals, now, like in movie sets and stuff like that now.
Sure.
Like.
Get a guy with a light camera on a
Yeah, they're just following the one person. I think it's quite actually common to see somebody on specifically a pint, because they go slower and they're just trying to do it as a gimbal and stuff like that.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and I've seen it a lot as a use, but I've noticed that, like, if you put your cat in the cat bag, some of you guys put them in it, and they might be okay. Even if you get the ones that kind of like getting in it, I'm sure maybe you noticed it if you put them on your back and then you start walking, the shifting in your shoulder, or at least this is my experience with the one cat that accepted its existence in the bag, which is Mika. All the other cats kind of throw a tantrum. But Mika kind of accepted her existence in the bag, and she definitely could not handle me walking back and forth in the bag.
It's a lot smoother too.
Yeah, but when I was on the one wheel, and then she feels like she is like in the captain's seat.
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
She likes speed.
Yeah.
She likes going places.
And she likes not being seen too, specifically. When I was picking bags too, I thought she'd really like this bag that had like all these windows and stuff so she could see more. But she really liked to hide. Like, I got a Nishi bag that had like a Pokemon ball in it, and she loved that one because it actually had more surface area that was covering her, and then she could peek out through the holes and kind of be a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
She loves other creatures too, but she doesn't want to interact with them. She doesn't want them to like come and touch her. But like she loves going by the dog park and shit like that.
Yeah.
I put a little camera back there so I could kind of see what she's doing too.
Sure. But yeah, I mean, that's just there's a lot of potential with little vehicles like that, or just I guess making them more accessible for people.
Yeah. I even kind of like a Cybertruck. If I was like a rich person, I'd throw all my money at a Cybertruck. But like,
no, I'd take a Rivian.
But or a Rivian. At least that's out. That's out. Yeah, there's no Cybertruck on the fucking road unless Elon we
did see a couple of those in Denver, so they do exist. We
saw at least 3 or 4 actually. Their lights are pretty easy to see.
Yeah, they're pretty,
because they got like Herbie looking eyes or something.
They got like a little weird oval. They look like little robots, but
and they were cool. We picked them out as much as we picked out the Teslas, and I have yet to see a Cybertruck. And the Cybertruck was announced a year and a half before then.
Right. You're failing.
Yeah.
You're failing your fanboys.
But I hear all of them have kind of been dropping ever since the dropping thing. I need to look back into Cyber because I was hearing Rivian had to sell or something like that. I thought Rivian was having problems or something getting off the ground, but I could be wrong on that. I was hearing like Tesla was like beat them out or something. But they have cars on the road if they're struggling to do stuff. I mean, they sold something.
Right. Well, I think it just took them. I think they had initial projections of like when they wanted to be production ready, and they didn't meet them. Is what it was. Like
so they don't have the Musk fanboys or something to give them the leniency.
Right. No.
Because man, that guy hasn't.
No,
they keep saying the Cybertruck's coming, and they also on top of that they had a oh god, what do you call them? A semi truck that was supposed to come.
Yeah.
And that's now being re-announced again. You know, this is going to come out 23, 24 maybe. We'll announce more then. It's like, yeah, but you said this back in like 2017, 2015, you know? Like,
right. It's like, come on.
Yeah, like how much more work can you, how long do you work? And then I've been seeing like all the kind of shady quality, like a lot. I follow this one dude.
Teslas are well known for their shady quality now.
Actually, that almost scared me too. And I kind of have a similar thing with One Wheel. One Wheel is doing the fight to repair. They're like the Apple of little, And it's, man, the companies that produce all my favorite toys are kind of scummy. Like they're like, goddamn, the Kingpin, and I feel like I'm a bad guy for liking these things so much. But
well, they make you send it in. That's something we could talk in depth on at some point. Is the right to repair? Because my dad was a mechanic for 50 years. His whole business is repairing stuff.
Oh yeah,
and it's
on the Teslas
beached
too.
Over. Well,
I followed that. I follow a dude that literally is getting like lawsuits from Tesla for trying just to fix their damn cars. You know.
Yeah. Well, I like the people that just go full modify them and like chop off the back of the roof of a Model S and turn it into a pickup truck or some stuff like that.
I mean, but if you modify it at all, they could like lock your car up from afar. Their whole system is ran off of some OS that is always attached to a mobile thing. Like they know if you own their car outside of who properly should own their car and shit like that.
Sure, but that takes me to another thing of. I wouldn't own a car that was that smart.
Yeah.
What I would want
That's
is
my problem
classic.
with it. It's like I do like the idea of Tesla, but
what I would
like
want
even the
is
self-driving bit, but I don't want you to take over my car, and I want to have like a manual mode and a real icon and know that I'm in control of my car.
Manual mode.
Right? Yeah. I would feel like iRobot. I'd feel like I'm Will Smith in that car movie. I literally would. When I'm driving a Tesla, I'm gonna feel like every second that Elon could just go, "What'd you say about me, motherfucker?" Turns my thing into a transformer that just starts beating the living shit out of me on the side of the road.
Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
It's like, oh my god, Bumblebee, bash, bash, bash.
Bad Model 3. Bad. How dare you? Now the gull-wing doors
He's like, take back your TikTok about us having dysfunctional door handles.
It's got the door open, holding you out the door, like near the road with the seat belt. Take it back now. Take it back now.
You son of a bitch.
Or I wipe your face off. But no. No, but that my thing would be, I wouldn't want a car that could potentially kill me like that. I would prefer to have like a restored classic, but take out the gas engine. And there are a couple of companies now, Ford being one of them, Ford Pomoco.
They have a whole bunch of them to do it, actually. We looked at a whole bunch of them ourselves.
Electric power plants, basically.
I think we even saw one in a small town somewhere.
So, well, I think so. And then
at least it was decked out and lowered.
Oh yeah, but but just put that in replacement of. And there's some companies that'll do this for you for certain cars. Like there's a company in California that'll do it for Volkswagen, so you can get a microbus. It's all electric. It's like 1960s, microbus.
That'd be right, the hippies fucking thing, but that'd be like the rich hippies, the hippies that can afford a Tesla and the one who just get a Tesla.
That's the hippies that invested, yeah.
Tesla got those little beds that come in the back of it too, that are just like, because he's a weird dude and he thinks his Tesla should have everything that he's ever seen cool in a car, so he has like those little beds that come with it that you can air up and you get like almost a queen size mattress back in one of the models.
Yeah, just buy an old pickup truck with a topper.
Yeah, like
same purpose.
Exactly, man. I loved sleeping in the back of my F-150, man. That was nice. I have a little room that I made in the back of my F-150, and
it's comfortable. More and more people are doing it, I think.
Yeah,
that could be a topic for another day too. Is like
if I ever did have to cut my losses and just run on the road, I don't think I'd mind it too much. I really do like my F-150 for that. A little leaky though if I get rainy.
You have to do some insulating, but oh well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it'd be a little. It's like a sweat box. I don't know how to explain it. I think people that are in the military probably know. I don't know why I'd bring this up, but I had someone explain it to me in such vivid detail without even being in the military. I kind of feel like I just know, but when they're in Iraq and stuff and Afghanistan, that in the desert, they'd sleep in these the tin cans they'd call them or something. They're just metal prefab stuff. And since they didn't release air in and out so quickly, their sweat and all their body moisture would like collect at the top and like drip down on them and stuff. But
sweatbox.
I kind of get the same feeling when I'm in weird, humid type climates in the back of that truck. Like I need to have those windows open with some airflow going in, because there's like,
you need a little
there's like, you're in like a tin box.
Right. You feel like you're roasting a little bit,
Not just roasting, but specifically like the moisture is not escaping. Like you're in like literally like, even though I know for a fact that back is not closed very well, but yeah, it does feel like like you set that up to make it like a sweat box.
Duly noted for next time.
Yeah. Even though you did that and left it open, and then fucking rain got in, and I ruined my fucking blanket. Oh yeah, we're on electric cars. Right. Good. We're still on topic.
We're still on topic.
Yeah. No, I usually goes off topic too much, but electric cars was kind of attached to gas prices, and I did feel like.
Well,
but I had Tauruses throughout all my life, and so when I did get the F-150, well, I've had a lot of different cars, kind of like they're just used cars, because my family kind of had just. Yeah. I have a lot of family members with used cars. And so it wasn't like I was like rich or anything, but I had some Tauruses, and then I upgraded from, or Taurus, or downgraded, or however you look at it, to this F-150 that I had now. And I thought, oh man, I'm gonna waste so much gas. And then when I did get the one wheel, I did try and stick to that as much as I could, but it's really not too bad. Like the truck isn't really that much difference. I mean, unless your job evolves around driving, you're never gonna notice the gas difference, like ever. I mean, to some degree, I when I drive the most, it is on the highway, so it's not like you're seeing much difference there anyway.
Sure. Well, and that was going to be my point too, is that kind of most of my driving anymore is on the highway.
Right.
I'm trying to stick to in town and whatnot. I might get a bicycle for some stuff.
Yeah, when you have to hit those stop signs and stuff, and when you have to hit lights, and when you have to hit, that's what uses your gas. And starting a V6, like my truck is probably a V6. I think it's not. I don't think it's a V8. It might be a V8.
Oh yeah, it's a little one at least.
Oh shit, that shows what I know about cars. But I know that costs a lot of gas to start up all the time. And it's sometimes worth just leaving your fucking truck on when you go into like a store sometimes, because like turning the car off would just cost more gas. But on the highway, I just don't see that much difference. Like, especially when you got like such a large tank. I don't know, I feel like you go the distance. And I feel like you could drive differently too. I don't know. But I don't know. Didn't feel like I was getting too much different, but definitely I was using my one wheel a lot when I did upgrade my truck. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of on my one wheel all the time. My one wheel was like my anti-depression thing. I need to get this motherfucking thing fixed.
Needs to live again.
Man, I want a foil so bad. Those things are like $7,000 just for like their version of the pint, their week one. So their week one is 3 to 4 times more than or 7 times more than what I spent on a fucking pint. Just ridiculous.
Goodness gracious. But I was thinking about it though. As far as, I guess, infrastructure for electric stuff, isn't that supposed to be part of the most recent like giant infrastructure bill they passed?
Yeah, where is all this stuff? Like, yeah, I was kind of hoping for that myself, because you think that, like, I'm not a huge fan of Elon. I if anybody follows me on Facebook, which I'm not saying y'all have to, but if anybody does, like, I mean, I lament quite a bit on all of my hatred for anybody that's, I don't know, I seem to dislike everybody, but. He was liked by Trump, and he's liked by, he has to be liked by the left. I mean, maybe he's not liked by the left. Maybe that's why nothing's getting passed. Because I was just, like, assuming that he's making all of the, maybe that's it. He's just not liked by the left, and that's the reason you're not seeing more electric shit get passed. But, true. Yeah, like, our biggest electric car person is hated by the left, and that could be the sole reason. But, well,
it's like,
you think he was liked by the right a little bit, and he is an entrepreneur. He is doing the whole electric car thing. I don't know why we're not seeing more. Like, why isn't you seeing more stuff get passed? I mean, I guess a lot of electric stuff is happening, but...
It's happening, but it's not happening here yet. It has to matriculate to the middle of the country, and it hasn't gotten here, I guess.
Yeah, we mostly see it in Denver.
Right. Just areas.
A lot of Teslas up there, which is really weird, because the worst climate...
With 1 million people or more, basically.
Well, and the worst climate for batteries would be dry...
Cold,
snowy climate. Like, just terrible for fucking cars.
Well, these are also the same people, right? These are the same people that probably have a 10-year-old Jeep for that weather, and then they drive the Tesla one every other day.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, maybe. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of rich people out there. They are gentrified, but I mean, my friend's out there. He's only got he's getting richer, but he's only got a car from his gal, and I think he only got a motorcycle. I think that's literally his only mode of transportation.
Is a bike, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
it's a nice Harley. I mean, it's like probably worth a small car.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it does a lot of car related things.
Yeah, no, I mean, and price wise too, I think it's on par with like
for a
decent, well, you know, like not well used, but a used car that works well.
Reliable car, yeah.
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 Yeah, and he's got a nice version of that, but man, I don't know why you don't want an electric vehicle out there for one, but it does feel like we don't have a lot of support for electric stuff, and it does seem like a lot of electric companies that exist right now, people don't know what's going on in them, and they're either evil or they're against like the right to repair. There's a lot of problems with electric.
A lot of problems with it. I feel like with it,
but I got infatuated with it. It was like Star Wars to me. You know, it's so fantastical to have energy right there. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's great. And then driving an electric car is great because torque is immediate and it's faster. You know.
I heard they actually programmed it to be not so torquey. I heard they programmed to make it feel like you're pressing the gas, so people wouldn't feel like they're. And some people were like wrecking the back of cars and shit.
Oh yeah, a lot of people were like, "Oh my goodness, this is crazy." They had no idea. Like they were making it like so touch sensitive that
I kind of get that actually in that little go-kart that I took out there on that thing. Like it's electric and it is an immediate fucking response when you put that thing down, and it's kind of weird. Like when the power finally hits you, you're just like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend who had
I used to race four-wheelers too, so it is. I mean, I can tell the difference. Like when you get into fucking torque down on some small wheels.
Oh yeah, same. Just difference for sure. It's
very immediate. Even than a two-stroke or any type of motor.
Oh yeah. No,
I didn't race jet skis, but I rode one. And I've done maintenance on one. I guess riding one doesn't mean you kind of know anything about it. But I've done maintenance on a jet ski my family owned.
But yeah, no, how cool would it be to have that kind of immediate torque and just speed in some kind of little classic sports car? For me, I think that would be really cool.
No, I really do think that's a great idea. I mean, that's a good restoration of those things too.
Of that.
Because I had a friend who had an old Mustang that was 67 or whatever, the one that everybody jerks off to.
Yeah.
And he was really into replacing. Well, I mean, he's really into replacing it with like the old parts. Like he had to get exact ones. I almost would rather somebody do that because it's just like, I mean, this is just kind of a shitty vehicle to ride in now, and it's not.
A lot of people, right, but that's always going to be kind of like with right to repair. There's always going to be an argument for the way people repair. Like,
and I don't really see the difference in price either, because it seems like both people are spending equal amounts of droppage on it. Like, I mean, just to make an electric vehicle, I was just listening to people make these toy versions, and it's like, why don't you just buy a Tesla then? You already spent $10,000 on your fucking
Nissan
engine, you know? Like, why don't you, like really?
Buy a Nissan Leaf.
But I guess it's all about building it.
Well, yeah, that's what those folks like. They like the fabricating the thing. And I get that too. That's fun for a lot of people, or some people.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I would still rather see somebody do the electric thing, because then you get all the amenities of like modern era. I'm assuming they probably run better air conditioning. You know, you're running the old parts, you got all the old air compressors and stuff like that. 100%. It always smells kind of dusty in those kind of cars.
Right. There's always a little bit of like, I'm not quite sure what died in here.
But I mean, but it's like they kind of like that. They're like, it's all the old seats. I got this out of the back of this or the back of that.
I rescued this out of a barn and wiped it off with a wet towel.
Or I did find the pristine one, and it's just dust, and the whole thing was just like covered in dust. But I found this. Yeah. It's
right.
Like, you can smell it's covered in dust there, Billy.
That's like something I would drive, and then just sneeze constantly because it was all dusty, and my allergies would be like, "Fuck you."
I don't even have allergies, but it's musty in some of those, and I live in a musty place.
Right. Yeah, this is Mustville, America.
Yeah.
But no, I do
like the electric cars idea though.
I would like, I like that for classics. Obviously, for the sake of like daily usage, and there are a couple of folks with electric cars in my little town, but I think they mostly use them just for putting around town.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that they're not.
They have electric. Like, what do you mean electric? They're not Teslas, or they? You know for a fact they made their own.
No, they're like.
I think I saw you post on Facebook. You were talking to somebody who had cars.
Yeah, one of them's a Nissan Leaf, which is a little electric, and then
is it all electric? It's not hybrid or anything.
No, it's all electric, and then another one is the little BMW. all electrics, like a little. It looks like a little shoebox.
They
like
both have. So there's stuff competing with the models out there.
Oh yeah.
Do they just
100%.
look like normal cars? Do they say electric on the back or something?
No, they just look like normal cars. With BMW, it's the
Because I
model.
know the. I've seen the Mustang once, the electric Mustang,
Mach-E.
but it says Mach-E, so you can tell it's
Yeah.
like, hey, it's electric, yo.
Yeah, for some, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of cars that, for BMW, it's just the I at this point.
I don't think I've seen any of those. Nissan Leaf I've definitely seen, but I literally assumed it was a Prius or something, a hybrid. You know, I thought it ran off gas.
No, it's got the big.
I mean,
the
with
big
an electric
logo.
battery, obviously.
Right. No, it's fully electric now. The big like logo in front of the front.
Do
of
they
the
just
car
charge with the
pops
Tesla
open.
superchargers and stuff? Do they just go there?
You plug them in.
Huh. I mean, I knew that was gonna happen one day, but I didn't know how many people were. I was wondering if they were gonna like do like the plug-in war or something like they're doing with Apple right now and the C.
No, they kind of make adapters.
Yeah.
If it doesn't fit.
Oh, so they do have different plugs then sometime. Oh, okay.
Depending on the car, yeah.
Man, I wonder how
But that's another
tricky that
thing,
is with
too.
Tesla stuff, because Tesla stuff is all like nice and like opens, and if you do buy all expensive stuff, it like works, but the more and more you go down, it like don't open and stuff like that.
Stuff doesn't quite work as well, yeah. I don't know. I would like to see a better infrastructure for it, especially in this part of the country, because I think there's some good use for it. And there's a lot
Yeah,
of...
right now I can only think
Ford and
Target and that place down near Walmart. It's the only place that I have in Manhattan.
Right.
Or I guess I shouldn't say where I am, dox myself.
Wherever you're
Yeah.
at, yeah. But no, and Ford and Chevy both have electric pickup trucks out now. So, I mean, talk about the most perfect thing for, the middle of the country is...
They have electric pickup. Ford and Chevy both made the F-150 and
Ford F-150, it's called
and the
Lightning.
Ram?
No,
It's out right now?
Yeah,
Like I could buy it today?
yeah. It's
Cool.
It's like 60 grand or so.
What does it look like on the road?
Looks like an F-150.
So I wouldn't be able to tell
No,
at all?
no.
Like it doesn't say like Leart like on the side of mine or
It
whatever?
says Lightning on the back of it, that's it.
Is it like under the cool ass F-150 sign, or is it where the F-150 sign should be is Lightning?
I think it's under the F-150.
So it's small, so I wouldn't even notice Lightning unless I was really looking for it. Okay.
And it's got special wheels that like there's some little things on
And then
it,
what's
but-
the other one that's doing it? Chevy or you
Chevy.
said?
Dodge has
Colorado's is a Chevy.
Well, no, the Silverado, the big full size.
Silverado.
Yeah, they've got the I forget what they're calling it. E71 or something. It's basically it's an electric Silverado truck.
Because I
And
think I was
and it
seeing
looks like a
commercials for
regular
that
truck,
because
too.
like the Ford was like showing some cool shit, like they could start like power tools from the engine and shit like that.
The Ford is basically a rolling generating plant on wheels, and that's the brilliant idea, honestly. Like that's the most perfect thing for a pickup truck.
Is it hybrid
Uh,
or is it fully electric?
fully electric.
Okay.
Like full electric. It weighs a ton, not a literal. It weighs like 4 tons or so because it's got such giant battery pack in it. I got to move the dang thing. But like you said, it can kind of turn itself into a little generator. You can power a construction site from the damn thing.
Yeah.
Or a campsite or whatever you want.
That's another thing too. I highly underestimated solar power, like how fast that actually charges. I use a Jackery, and Jackeries could spit out some sick power, and they charge relatively quickly. But I put it in the most optimal conditions. I guarantee you can't get less cover than Burning Man. You can't get less sun than Burning Man. You're right in the middle of the desert, no clouds and stuff like that.
Right.
And it was still rocking 70, 80%. So I wasn't getting the full 100 watts that my solar panel was supposed to spit out. I would be lucky at times to get like 90, and that would be like luck, So
Right.
and that was like optimal if it's all wiped off, and there's no dust on it, and you're getting the optimal things. So I don't know. I wish it would be like something where you could park your car. I guess when I got into electric, I had like maybe more of a younger kind of nostalgified goggles on it or something.
Sure.
Oh, good, I didn't spill anything. But I just, I assumed like that stupid Black Mirror episode, except I thought it was long before that came out. Your car just parks, you throw up the little solar panel on the back of your old car, and you're like, all right, I can go in here, and this should be done by the time I come back.
Right, exactly.
It was so nice. Oh, But even with superchargers, you have to sit there longer than it takes to fill up gas.
Right.
Like, you can't just get on the road.
Minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that was the thing.
And I get they're gonna watch Netflix and do all that stuff, but it's like you still have to sit there.
Right.
Like I like to hoof it, you know. Right. I like to go in and out, piss and go. There's
gimmick, right? There's little gimmicks on Teslas. You know, you can go into the entertainment and there's
they have like a whole Android. Yeah, like it's pretty much full game entertainment system.
Yeah, you can play chess and dumb crap on there, watch whatever you want. But yeah, no, it's like we went on. Well, I think I told you the story. I wrote a magazine story and went and drove a Tesla. We went to the Geographic Center.
Lucky,
in the US.
I haven't driven one.
And
they
drive okay. I mean, they're quick because of the electric, power and the torque. But
you probably do know a lot about them more than I do.
They're pretty. I mean, they're all right cars. It's just they have quality control issues that really shouldn't be happening for 2022 vehicle manufacturing standards. Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's lazy shit, is what it is. And then with the control of some of the programming of the vehicles and the ability to,
I get
that does bother me, and
but
I don't necessarily want some Australian from South Africa in charge of my car.
It does kind of annoy. Like the thing with my thing is like they could like make it so I could void my warranty just changing the tire. I could void my warranty doing a lot of stupid stuff like that.
I don't like that either.
But that's not like what I'm talking about with Tesla. Tesla literally seems like iRobot like shit. Like they could take over your car. While that thing, I kind of vaguely understand. Like if I have a nosedive, which is a common thing for one-wheel people to experience, is when the nose just drops out and people go and break their shoulder. I haven't experienced that because I'm not some kind of edgelord that needs to go as fast as I can on those things. But it happens quite a bit. But if that happened, I would know why. I'd be like, oh, I didn't have my foot on the sensor, or I'd have some idea.
Sure.
And I feel, man, I've seen a TikTok of a lady like just her car started accelerating for no reason. Like the OS broke, and as someone that uses phone, just think about like. I know you guys use iPhones and Android. There's not a war between those two. Just think about your own phone. If you have an Android or an iPhone, what are the kinks that are currently in that? Now picture that as the thing that's controlling your life.
Well, I was going to say, the thing that's taking you to 60 miles per hour.
Right. It's taking you 60, 80 miles per hour. I mean, again, maybe not your life. I mean, they're probably pretty safe. I'm assuming you're in a...
They're somewhat safe cars.
He wanted to put bulletproof stuff on his truck, so...
Sure. I mean, they're pretty safe cars. I mean, you mentioned lithium ion. They got a giant battery pack in the chassis of them in the floorboard, but like... If you crash
I heard they try their hardest to make sure those don't have an explosive problem, but technically you're always going to have that.
Sure, and and for the most part they don't, and technically yes, in most of the time it'll exist no matter what. It's just a part of that. There's no, like you said, with batteries, we're not quite there yet. I feel like we
just gave up on it though. I feel like we just never. I feel like all technology today is just so derivative of like when the internet was created, we gave up on creating stuff. Yeah, that's what annoys me about Elon. I thought Elon was an inventor. He hasn't invented shit. He just stole Tesla from two guys.
No, it's stuck. There's something where there needs to be a jolt. So there needs to be another kind of. We need to have a nice little scientific kind of like. Eureka moment to be like, oh, this will help us in a lot of ways. We're awaiting something like that, and it'll solve a a lot of issues. I think it'll solve a lot of issues. I just don't know what it is, but I feel like it's a thing.
But like everything we use today, internet, the idea for internet and cableized internet. I know we created internet during the '90s, but technically the idea for cable connection networking was already something we were doing with early computing.
Oh yeah.
I think the most recent thing that you could say that we created on computing would be in '84 we created Wi-Fi with the Australian government, and that was probably the most recent, but that was still based off of papers that was written by some brilliant mathematician lady, if I remember right, and she wrote that back in '45 too, or around the World War II era and shit like that.
They were trying to come up with a way
and so it just seems like everything is just so derivative of like what we had to do during wartime, like when we truly hated somebody or we felt like at doomsday's door, and then we made stuff. Or you believe in aliens, and the aliens came down and talked to Hitler and gave us all our tech. But, like the stair-step thing is really evident, in my opinion, nowadays. Everybody keeps acting like we're going further and further into the future, and I'm like, are we though? I mean, our batteries still kind of suck. We're just like taking old technology and putting it in... are we really going in the future? Or we're making just smaller transistors. The transistor was a new creation But is Intel making 5 gigahertz like processor a new creation, or is it just another transistor being slightly smaller
our
onto
progress?
it?
Our progress just seems kind of one step forward, two steps back. Or if you want to think of it like a circle, just think
derivative.
Of it.
I think
it's very derivative, but it's very derivative, but it's very much a very tightly overlapping circle of just we're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know if you can blame it on the internet. I like using the internet, but it's like, I mean, after we created that, I just feel like we didn't invent anymore. I don't feel like we invent anything anymore. I know we like make some things every once in a while, but I don't know.
We're focused on inventing things in the internet. We stopped. I say we stopped. It's the focus. The focus has shifted there, less on tangible inventions that are helpful, or just because. But I don't know. It's probably something that could be spent for another 45 minutes.
We have talked about it enough. And do you want to get into guns, or do you want to go?
Well, we can get into guns a little bit. I mean, I could probably talk. I mean, my stance on guns is probably kind of interesting, if you want to.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, this is a long episode. Let's see, we had probably 10 or 15 minutes, or 20 minutes, probably 4. I mean, we are kind of reaching an hour. We could get to it another time. Okay. We'll do something hotly political next time. We'll see how you guys liked this.
We'll tackle guns later.
Yeah, and I don't want to go too much over an hour. And I feel like if this is showing me 30 minutes, and I do think we were talking pretty much exactly that because I just potted on. And I think that one recorded 10 to 15 minutes per overheating sesh. So I think we're reaching an hour now. So, like I said, I did at least want to fit one thing in here for sure. Do you have anything that you want to share about yourself, AJ, that maybe you want the audience to know about yourself? You did already kind of give us an intro, but what's like one unique thing that maybe you can build on for next time, and we'll always share something unique?
Oh, well, okay, so we brought up guns, right?
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, I did do 4-H, like target shooting.
Oh, gun club like
stuff. Kind of gun club stuff, but I only did it a little bit. It was nothing regular, but like... I did go to 4-H camp and shot the best target with the air rifle, so that's something.
I shot skeet with my dad, and I was always told I was a good shot, but since he had his own, what do you call it, one of those little metal things on the ground that throws the skeet or whatever?
Launcher,
yeah, he had one of those launchers, so I wasn't like at a place that I guess was raiding you or anything, so, and it was a shotgun, and I always thought that was kind of like, I mean, there is some skill to shooting a shotgun, like have you ever been hunting? You know, have you ever been hunting?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, like when you're hunting birds, you can't just shoot in the middle of a cubby. It's like a kind of like when you first hold your gun up and you're not really trained, you like want to shoot in the middle of like 15, 20 birds, and you're more likely to miss. You got to really pick it out and aim. Even if you do have a shotgun shell, it's going to spread out and make a wide-ranging thing. You got to truly aim it down the thing and lead and all this stuff. What you'd think would be natural, but it's like kind of goes against your inclination when the cubby flies up, and they kind of make a
right,
you know?
Right. Yeah. It's like holy crap! It's like holy crap! I gotta I gotta point and shoot. It's like no, you gotta breathe and.
What kind of gun were you using? Are you using an air gun?
Well, so yeah, when I was
when you're doing competition, but what kind of gun were you using down at the club or wherever you're doing, or just as a kid?
We had a little shotgun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, a little like kind of break top shotgun,
little 20 gauge. Yeah, and it breaks top, so you had it over under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's exactly the same one I had. Well, not exactly the same.
Yeah, it was all right. It was older, I think, but it worked. It kicked like a darn mule, though. But. That was also because I was a little skinny kid, so I haven't really changed much. But no, I did that, and it did that for a little bit, not very, maybe like a year or two. But then another year after that was the camp, the 4-H camp, and they were like, "Hey, we saw where you were in shooting sports. It's part of the camp to go down and do some, air rifle targets and whatnot. It's little pellets."
Oh, okay, yeah.
So little pellet rifles. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, they're like, the fancy ones. They have a little tiny like scope on it, kind of, or a little sight on it, kind of.
Is it similar to the ones they have at the, what do they call those places? Bash and pro shops? You ever been to like a super nice Bash Pro Shop?
Yeah, kind of like Cabela's.
Yeah. But like a really nice, like 3-story one, and they have like the river going through it. Mm-hmm. There's like
it's kind of like
a Mall of America of hunting places.
Yeah. Think those kind of air rifles. But
I think I've used one of those.
Yeah.
But I was lucky enough to have a dad that was obsessed with hunting. So, well, I guess I never had rifles, even though I went to church with kids. So I had experience with like deer hunting friends and stuff like that. Actually, to be honest, I'm really glad my dad was never into deer hunting, because that's like it really is just sitting there like a lot. Like,
see, I've never
bird hunting is like walking. It's great. You're always moving, or at least you're watching dogs. You know, even if you don't shoot anything, you're like, oh, look at the hounds go.
Sure,
They're
it's still a good time because you're out and about. Yeah. No, I've never been deer hunting because I don't think I'm that patient.
I was even there to see a deer get killed, and that was supposedly supposed to be like the highlight. And I would just thank God we could go home now. You know, I'm just like so done.
Right, you're like, oh gosh, okay.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't seem appealing to me.
Yeah, and you have to be quiet too, and I'm not a very quiet person, obviously. Oh man.
Right. Let me wait to shoot something. I don't know. That doesn't sound fun. But yeah. No,
I guess that'll be my thing then too. I guess to go off of what you said on your little gun club, what I share about myself is me and my dad went hunting a lot, and I've hunted a lot of quail and pheasant mostly, and then dove, and I did a significant amount. I had a ton of experience with it. I wasn't a huge fan of it because it all involved waking up super early, which I hate waking up early, and it involved walking around in very cold environments, and I hate the cold.
Right. You're like,
so it's like this is against everything that I like. My dad liked it, and in that I liked it. You know.
Sure. Sure. Well, there you go. Something to build on for next time.
Yeah. I can tell you more of my family. I have a fucking super large family. That's something different. I have a super large family. I have like 9 brothers and sisters.
There you go.
There you go. I'll show you a picture of them next time. And we will talk about the hotly debated issue on guns. I just feel like we spent at least 20 to 30 minutes on cars.
Yeah, we need more time for that.
And yeah. I mean, if you have a nuanced opinion, and I don't even think we've fully fleshed it out because we've kind of grazed over the topic recently because we talk about all current events. But I don't think we really truly got to like opinions on like regulation and stuff. So it might be interesting. We might just save it for that time.
Yeah. And
I do think I have a nuanced opinion on it because I don't like either extreme. Like, I usually like to look at the extremes of both sides, and then I like to look in the middle. And this is one of the topics where I don't feel like there is much middle, you know, and we're only hearing the extremes. And I don't know. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I feel like this was a good podcast, and this is going to be official one. The last one was more kind of getting to know us, so we'll call this one episode 1 or 4 or whatever. It don't matter. But yeah, this is your podcast, Josh, and
my name's AJ.
AJ again. Sorry, I don't even know why. That was probably a really weird way to sign off.
You looked at me and was like, what's your name again?
We'll get it down.
Who are you? I just spent an hour talking with you. Wait a minute, what? Sorry. We'll see y'all.
Yep, the CoR Podcast. Thanks.